How's it going, Jeremiahans? Make no mistake, the Yamaha PSR-E463 is a great value for money budget E-series flagship keyboard from Yamaha. And in this latest model, Yamaha has updated it with loads of fresh new styles that has been inherited from the Yamaha PSR S-series, as well as the flagship G-Nos costing close to US $5,000. So you are really getting really fantastic value for money. And in this tiny little package, portable, that runs on batteries, going for US $250, you get really good acoustic instrument sounds, piano sounds, electric piano sounds, synths, and pad sounds for a really good price that is friendly to the budget musician. However, let's be frank, this is an arranger keyboard and it is not going to be suitable for all scenarios and for all kinds of musicians. Depending on what you are trying to do with your music, this keyboard may or may not be the most suitable for you. And in this video, I will be going through with you the different scenarios you will be using a keyboard for and whether this keyboard will be suitable for you. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jeremy C, and in my channel, I make tutorials, reviews, tips, tricks, and tactics on using your arranger keyboard. If you like content like this, make sure you subscribe and smash that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on a single video I upload. If you are using the Yamaha PSR-E463 mainly as a piano, trying to play classical pieces from Mozart, Beethoven, Scarlatti on this keyboard, it will not be suitable for you. If you want a really good quality piano sound, this is not suitable for you. That is because on a real piano, you will need 88 keys if you're trying to play classical pieces. And the touch on an arranger keyboard like this will be vastly different from a real piano. If you're trying to learn this on a digital piano because you don't want to disturb your neighbors, you want to be able to use headphones, you want to make sure you check out other kinds of keyboard that has a weighted keys. That is because on a real piano, the keys on the left side of the keyboard will be hitting thicker strings and the hammers will be heavier. You want to make sure not only you have weighted keys, you should preferably have graded hammer keys where the keys on the left side of the keyboard is heavier and will gradually become lighter as you move towards the right side of the keyboard. On an acoustic piano, things like string resonance, damper resonance will all affect your playing, and the touch sensitivity on a real acoustic piano, as well as the full pedaling range from the 3 pedals on a real piano, all of this will not be available on the PSR-E463. If you're looking for something to learn real piano stuff on, I suggest that you look at, for example, the Clavinovas, the CLP series of the Clavinovas, the Casio Previa PX series, and for the more budget conscious, there will also be the P125 from Yamaha, or if you have a bit more money to spend and you want in a portable package, you have the Yamaha P515 as well. And on a real piano, the keys are actually made from real wood. There is a degree of porousness to the keys to make sure that your fingers don't slip over the keys when you get a bit sweaty while playing. However, if you're really on a big budget constraint, what I would suggest, if the piano sound is the top priority for you, you want to just check out the PSR-EW410. That is because the EW410 has a much better sounding piano sample than the PSR-E series. What if you still loved all the arranger keyboard styles, but you still want a graded hammer action? You can actually look at the Yamaha DGX660, which has the arranger keyboard styles, loads of sounds, as well as 88 keys, but it will be less portable. But if you have space at home and you want to make sure you are learning the correct techniques on a real piano, even a very cheap second-hand used China-made piano costing $300–400 will give you a better tactile touch response than an arranger keyboard like this. If you're trying to use this keyboard in a DAW scenario, DAW, DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation Environment. This keyboard will not be the most suitable for you. If you're trying to control software such as Ableton as well as Reason, you will find that this keyboard is inadequate for controlling via MIDI. It is fine if you're trying to use software to control this keyboard, but if you're trying to use this keyboard to control software, you want to make sure you get a MIDI controller instead. For the same price that you are buying this keyboard for, you can actually get a MIDI controller with aftertouch, which this keyboard doesn't have at this price range. You also want to make sure that you are getting a MIDI controller that is able to send things like patch changes, that is able to specify different MIDI channels, different sliders and knobs for you to modify, create, and rock the music in your DAW setup. If you're the sort of musicians who want to have a great number of samples and you want to control VSTIs, which are virtual instruments found in your computer, this keyboard, well, it'll work, but it is not the best. I would usually recommend that musicians who are trying to make music digitally using their computer use a MIDI controller to control all the different software within their computer. Of course, with this scenario, you want to make sure you have a reasonably fast computer to make sure you can load the samples, modify it, place it in a very large multi-track sequencing environment to make your final piece of music. Let's talk about sound creation, sound synthesis next. Make no mistake about that, this is a keyboard, but you cannot really call it a synthesizer per se. You are able to modify the voices using effects like chorus, flanger, reverb. These are all still pretty basic effects that you can use to modify. However, if you want to create fresh, new, unique, personalized sound from scratch, you want to make sure you are looking at a synthesizer. A synthesizer would be something that you can use to create brand new sounds using different filters, waveforms, effects. And that is something that the Yamaha PSR-E463 is not able to do. And the price of hardware synthesizer has come down so much that for the same price as the Yamaha PSR-E463, you can get a pretty decent hardware synth from Roland or from Korg. And if you are looking for sounds of the vintage legacy synthesizers, you can find these in a digital software version for not a very expensive price these days, and you can use it as part of your DAW setup. The Yamaha PSR-E463 comes with a 6-track sequencer. It might be sufficient for a beginner, but you will find it limiting if you're trying to use the sequencer to build a complete polished song. These days, with computers so powerful and at such an affordable price, you can actually use a computer as a sequencer, and that is a lot more suitable because it has a huge screen which is on your monitor or on your laptop. It's easier to work around with a visual environment, and you are not restricted to only 6 tracks. You have as many tracks as the resource on your computer can give you. So if you have a lot more RAM, you have a great processor which can crunch all the different sounds going on at the same time, you are better off with a software multi-track sequencer. The thing about trying to do a multi-track sequencing on a keyboard like the Yamaha PSR-E463, you will not get a lot of deep level editing unlike on the more advanced high-end workstation or on a digital multi-track sequencer. The other thing that is limiting for this keyboard is the 48-note polyphony, and if you're trying to build lush arrangements on your keyboard, you will find that you will run out of notes very quickly. For really small, intimate gigs like a small birthday party you're having at home, or you're having some friends over and you're going to be playing for them, the Yamaha PSR-E463 is fine. But if you're trying to use this keyboard for basking or for a bigger scale performance, and you will want to plug in a microphone and apply effects through the microphone, this keyboard may not be for you. Although there's an auxiliary in on this keyboard, it is not suitable for plugging in a microphone. Above and beyond that, you're not able to apply the effects onto the auxiliary input as well. And the speakers on this keyboard is good for a small room, but in a bigger space, it is just not going to be sufficient. If you will be doing some serious performing, you want to get a keyboard that has dedicated outputs left and right so that you can send it out to a PA system or to an external keyboard monitor or external keyboard speakers that is sized properly for the location that you will be performing at. Now, this video would not be complete if I only talk about what this keyboard is not suitable for. Let's talk about what this keyboard is great for. And what kind of musician would you be in order to want to get this Yamaha PSR-E463 keyboard? If you're someone who loves to play around with a lot of sounds, acoustic instruments, a lot of styles, and play along with these styles and not have to meddle around with the technical aspect of being in a software digital world, you just want to turn on the keyboard and get going, this Yamaha PSR-E463 is great for you. If you're a composer who wants to very quickly sketch out something you have in your head, you have a couple of chord progression that you just want to play out, and you know that, for example, this is a song in a Latin genre, you want to put on a bachata beat, you want to whack out a few chords and play a kind of little melodic tune over it and sketch out the idea in your head, this keyboard is really good for getting your ideas down really quickly and have it recorded onto a thumb drive, and you can develop it further, whether on a digital platform or with a full-scale band. And for those who are taking the Trinity UK exam, the electronic keyboard syllabus, this keyboard is suitable for you to use until grade 4. This keyboard is light, it's easy to set up, you can just bring it, tuck it under your arm, bring it into the exam hall, set it down. In less than 5 minutes, you're ready to go to perform for the examiner. This keyboard is great for you. However, I cannot recommend this keyboard for graded exams that is higher than grade 5 simply because it doesn't allow you to do chord on bass inversions for your backing track. However, for those who are taking the Trinity Rock and Pop syllabus, this keyboard will be sufficient for you to take it all the way up to grade 8. It has some really great rotary organ sounds, electric piano sounds, string sounds, acoustic piano sounds that you will need for the Trinity Rock and Pop syllabus. The Trinity Rock and Pop, you will be performing an exam with a backing track CD. So what I usually like to do is to rip out all the songs from the CD onto a USB stick. That way, when you are playing back the backing track and you are playing the part of a keyboard, all the sounds will come out from the speakers mixed in as one. And that will make sure you sound really good and score really well in your Trinity Pop and Rock exams. If you are a keyboardist in an amateur band, in a school band, in a neighborhood band, and you have a drummer, a guitarist, and you want to play along with them, this keyboard will be sufficient for you. And the advantage of having a keyboard like this is, for example, if the drummer is absent today, you have no worries because you can just turn on your styles and still have a beat going on. And if your guitarist is not around today, no worries. You just put on the arpeggiator, set on a guitar sound, and you've got a guitar strumming in the background that is fairly realistic. And the last scenario that I have that is suitable for use with this keyboard, if you're just starting out and exploring the world of MIDI and you want to fiddle around with the different parameters of MIDI, this can be a good intermediate keyboard while you get something better in the future. So as long as you're not making too complicated multi-track recording while connected to the computer, this keyboard will be fine for you. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, leave your comments. If you have any questions, I might just pick up the questions and make a Q&A answering your questions for future videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next time, be good. Bye-bye.